and Extra Kart Parts. And we were back in the shop. So we were, well, not we, Extra Kart Parts is just me and occasionally Walter. But I was in Las Vegas for the past couple of weeks for the first race was the Rock Cup USA Rock the Rio event. And last week I was in Vegas again for the SCUSA Super Nationals. And I was under the tent for GFC karting, running the parts trailer and then kind of a secondary floater in case all hell broke loose and we needed extra hands. But hey, it was a great event. There wasn't, under our tent, there was actually not a lot of carnage. So I know some of the videos out there you'll see of the races and, you know, some of the crashing, etc. But for our tent, we had one or two guys each weekend that kept finding the wall. But other than that, it was a pretty relaxing, not relaxing, they're longer days, but it was a pretty non-eventful from a crash damage, putting it in the wall standpoint. But yeah, but I'm back in the shop. So that's why I've been kind of off of the social for a couple of weeks. It was just focusing on the team stuff and, you know, long days like any national race. But I'm back in the shop and customers are looking for some stuff. And I figured, you know what, while I'm looking for the parts for the customer, I might as well go live, give you an update on how everything's going. And if there's some parts that you might be looking for, let me know in the comments. But what I'm looking for right now is I have one customer looking for torsion bars. So this gives me an opportunity to gather them all together. And yeah, so torsion bars. So we have, those are the rear torsion bars, front torsion bars. And you know what? This is a good time to, maybe I'll grab the tripod. Let's do a quick how-to video as well. I'll grab the tripod. We get this question, well, not, again, me. In karting in general, we get a lot of questions on, oh, what about this? What about that? And I say it over and over and over again. In karting, nothing is interchangeable until it is, and everything is interchangeable until it's not. So I say that all the time, and I don't mean to be a smartass, but it really is true. A lot of this stuff does cross over, and what we're going to do... Oh, did I leave my calipers on? You know, if you're going to buy calipers, don't buy the cheap ones. I did that. It was probably a 2-for-1. And there we go. Okay, so it's probably a 2-for-1 deal. There's Spy brand, 50th anniversary. The batteries don't ever last in these damn things. I should have bought some Mitutoyos or Starretts or a good brand. But I didn't. I cheaped out. And the consequences are... I need a metric. Okay, the consequences are the batteries die really fast. I don't know why, even when they're off. But let's see here. Hello, everyone chiming in. Dave Boyle, Andrew, Andre, Thaddeus, thanks for tuning in. Andre, I am not in Massachusetts. I'm in California. I'm going to get you free likes. All right, if you like my content, just hit like. If you don't like my content, post in the comments on how I can do better. And I don't edit stuff. I do live videos a lot because I don't have to edit them. But let's jump into it. So we're going to have some torsion bars here. And I got my tripod. You're looking at the ceiling. Switch the camera. Okay, let's do this. All right, so a couple things you need to know on the torsion bars. And I'm going to see if I have a chassis. Yeah, there's one right here. So when I'm saying torsion bar, I'm talking about that piece in the chassis right there. Some chassis have them on the left side. And then a lot of the chassis have them across the rear in the back. So different tuning. It stiffens up the chassis. So you have the front torsion bars, side torsion bars, which this cart did not have, but there will be a boss here and a boss down there that you could put a torsion bar in, and then on the back. So that's what we're talking about. My customer, he's looking for one for the rear, and he's looking one for the sidebar. So at first I thought this was the sidebar, but this is actually a front bar, a front torsion bar, because the bend is right in the center. But what you need to know, let's grab a shorter one so everything fits in the video. What you need to know on torsion bars, you need to know the overall length of the bar. And for most items, being I do a lot of European chassis, I don't do a lot with American chassis. I do a lot of European chassis. So the measurements should be in millimeter or centimeter. So millimeter or centimeter for European chassis. So this one measures 240 millimeters. In the chassis, you should have a gap that's approximately 245 or 250 millimeters. That should be the spacing between the bosses on each end and for where the bar goes in. You don't want this to be a tight fit between the frame rails. They're actually going to float around back and forth. And then you're going to have your chassis clamps. That's what these are. Chassis clamps or torsion bar clamps. Okay. And the critical measurements, we did the length. Then you need to know the diameter of the tube. So if you're looking for the torsion bar, then obviously you don't have the torsion bar in your possession, right? So you're going to measure your frame. You're going to measure the frame. Sorry, tripod's getting hung up. You're going to measure the frame boss right there, okay? So in this particular case, 29.95. We're going to round that up to 30 mil. So you're going to call me. You're going to say, Jason, I need a torsion bar. It's going to be 30 millimeters in diameter, right? Then you're going to give me the length. It's going to be 240 millimeters in length. And those are the kind of the two critical measurements that you're going to need. Diameter. Let's see what this one is. Diameter. So this is 27.65. So I'm going to generically call that a 28. Oh, it's 28 there. So this has a little bit of a... this one's actually a little bit egg-shaped. So 28.08. That's 28 diameter. Okay? So that's that. Then you're going to have your chassis clamp. You need to measure the inside diameter. If you don't have the chassis clamp, then you need the clamps to match the bar. So this one's going to be 28.22. That is a 28 millimeter chassis clamp. The reason the measurement is a little bit off is because these need to slide in like that. And then you have your pinch bolts. Boom, 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 pinch bolt. So that's going to be your chassis clamps and your torsion bars. And most of the carts are pretty specific to each other, unless you want to cut the bars down. If it's for the rear, it doesn't really matter the length if you have to cut it down. But you're going to notice there's different styles. And let's see here. Different materials. So this one we have an Intrepid with a nylon bar, white nylon bar. It's solid. Okay? Then you also have a nylon bar that's machined down in the center. A little bit softer. Then you have, this is a rear torsion bar. I only know that because of how long this one is. Rear torsion bar, tube. Okay? There's a tube, round. And then you have the rear torsion bar with a blade. So we'll call this the blade. Rear torsion bar with the blade. And for fine tuning, the bar in, stiffens up the chassis. Blade up, maximum stiffness. Blade down is softer than blade up, but still stiffer than without the bar at all. Maybe I'll use this. I'll use this one because this one fits in the whole frame. So yeah, torsion bars. Blade up and down, stiff. Blade flat, soft. Okay, with the bar in. So it's not going to overall soften up the chassis if the bar's in. It's still overall going to stiffen it up. But that's what you have. And different chassis manufacturers have different materials and thicknesses, and you can get pretty fine tuned with the torsion bars if you need to. So that's why the manufacturers have them. I mean, some manufacturers have 5 or 10 different bars, and I always go back to, if you don't know what your tire pressures are, you don't know what your alignment is set at. Yeah, the torsion bars make a difference, but there's other speed to be found on the basics of karting with proper chassis alignment, proper free axles, making sure they're good. I haven't been competitive in a while as far as racing, but when I was running the shifter stuff, I preferred the bar in. But that was going back to the CRG days or my NBA chassis. I preferred the bar in. I felt like it gave me a little bit more feel of the front end, and it was a little bit more predictable for me. And that's what I liked. But, sometimes you have to change them for the track. Sometimes you change them for the driver. Sometimes different driver builds and how aggressive they are going to determine if they want a bar in or out or what softness. I'll be real with you, though. There's some bars that are out there that I've seen that are pretty creative, and I don't know if I would feel the difference between minute changes. So who knows? But yeah, that's the bars, and we're back to doing live videos. If you enjoy what we're doing, if you enjoy the inventory posts, hit like and subscribe, comment, or send me a message if there's something specific you're looking for. Let's see here. That would be... Oh, yeah, I answered Andre. Not in Massachusetts. But if you're looking for someone in Massachusetts, I do have friends that have kart shops in the Northeast. So let me know what you're looking for. If I don't have it, I can send you their direction as well. But if you're looking for torsion bars, again, diameter. I need to know the diameter, and I need to know the length. And if I have multiple bars, let's see. Bad example. This is actually... No. Brand new CRG torsion bars, still in the wrapper, from Italy. Not that matters, I don't think. I was going to show you the different ones, but yeah. But yeah, let me know. If you need torsion bars, I have them. And I probably have another box somewhere. I just didn't. I'm out of room in this drawer. And eventually I need to turn this rolling toolbox into a more organized. It actually started out with brakes. And I ended up with more and more torsion bars because I only had a couple. So I just threw them in the brake drawer because of the length. And now I almost need a torsion bar drawer. But you can see I have all these clamps over here. So I have a lot more clamps on my inventory sorting bench. But that's it. So stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And yeah, we'll get to it. Talk to you guys later.